UCLA football gets exposed in Deshaun Foster's home debut. The Galaxy deliver a gut punch to LAFC. And as expected, there's almost nobody left to pitch for the Dodgers. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It's September 15th, 2024. We have an expanded look at the scoreboard today because at least two of these games have major impact. It's also Sunday, the Lord's Day. If you believe as I do, take a moment. Thank Him for the blessings that you have in your life, like LA Sports. And if you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It lets you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means, comment. So before we go through the day's news and notes, yes, the expanded scoreboard. Indiana 42, UCLA 13. What in the blue and gold hell was that? The Bruins had 2 weeks off after that really shaky performance out in Hawaii, and they were swearing all along on a stack of Bibles, on a stack of Qurans, books of Mormon, and even a spare copy of Dianetics that they had all the kinks worked out. That was gruesome. Don't you hate being lied to about these sort of things? 47,000 people went to the Rose Bowl to celebrate Deshaun Foster coming after all that time where Chip Kelly pretty much didn't give a damn about UCLA, its boosters, its fans, etc. So all of that going for Foster, all of that going for the New Look Bruins, and they get absolutely humiliated. So bad was this booty whooping because, let's be real, who has thought about Indiana sports since Bobby Knight died? Really? So bad that you feel compelled to look at the schedule, not to wonder if a bowl game is still possible for UCLA, but when the Bruins might win another game. For example, the next 3 weeks alone, they face ranked teams. Twice on the road. Where do you see a W in the next month? Where do you see an easy W for the rest of the year? Even Fresno State, where they close the season, is not an easy team to defeat. Now, I will say this. If you take a step back and you look at the team, what do they do well? And I'm not asking that with snark. I think they do one thing well. They stop the run, which kind of holds over from last year. The Bruins last year were the second hardest team to run the football on. And that's it. Because they were torn to pieces on pass defense. They allowed over 300 yards passing to Indiana. And by the way, on offense, I don't know what they do right at all. They only put up 238 yards of offense to Indiana. They're completely off the rails on their offense. This whole idea of, we're going to install a West Coast offense, and Eric Bieniemy, he's got the NFL pedigree. You do realize that when he was coaching in the NFL, when he was with the Chiefs, Andy Reid was the play caller. Bieniemy was getting all of this love in the press about how he was this potential next great head coach. And he never got a sniff. And I realize he's only been at UCLA for a summer and 2 games. But you almost have to wonder if this is as good as it gets for the UCLA offense. Ethan Garber's pass for just 137 yards. Do you remember how everybody was like, we at least UCLA is going to run the ball. They've got 2 great running backs. TJ Harden rushed for only 48 yards to lead UCLA yesterday. Hell, when the Bruins defeated Hawaii 2 weeks ago, Garbers led the Bruins in rushing then. Now, I realize that because Kelly left the program so late and UCLA had to scramble to get a new coach in Foster, I realize that they were definitely put behind the 8 ball. The idea was that maybe they would just miss out on a bowl game or just basically qualify again for the LA Bowl. I think we are coming to a very quick realization. I'm not suggesting you write off the entire season yet, but it feels like we're coming to the very quick realization that Foster and the Bruins program has absolutely been just waylaid by Chip Kelly giving him the middle finger out the door. You tell me in the comments thread. Atlanta 10, Dodgers 1. Yikes. Jack Flaherty with his worst start as a Dodger, 4 earned runs in just 3 innings. But how the hell are you going to make one run stand up either way? And by the way, Mookie Betts drove that run in. Galaxy 4, LAFC 2. Dejan Joveljic scored twice. Ricky Puig adds a goal and an assist as the Galaxy storm back from a 2-goal halftime deficit to take a stranglehold on first place in MLS's Western Conference against their bitter rivals. The Galaxy have 5 matches to go. I gotta tell you, El Trafico rarely disappoints when it comes to drama, when it comes to bitterness. In a battle between the top 2 teams in the Western Conference. By the way, that hasn't been said before in El Trafico history. Normally, the Galaxy were the underdogs against LAFC. Meanwhile, LAFC was looking to sweep the season series. Totally didn't happen. Despite the fact that LAFC utterly punished the Galaxy in the first half with goals from Mateusz Bogusz and Denis Bouanga. But the Galaxy remain undefeated at Dignity Health Sports Park all year long. They have turned that place into an absolute fortress. And not only did they keep their home record undefeated, not only did they defeat their worst rival, not only did they take firm control of first in the conference, they have qualified for MLS Cup playoffs in the process, after they didn't play in MLS Cup playoffs last year. Arguably the best night the Galaxy have had in years. Absolutely. The question of are they back? Again, tell me in the comments thread, because it feels like they are. Racing Louisville 2, Angel City FC 1, Maggie Doherty Howard scored for LA. Meanwhile, today, the Dodgers remain in Atlanta at 4. Walker Buehler is 1-5 with a 5.95 ERA. Charlie Morton is 8-8 with a 4.11 ERA. The Rams are at Arizona at 1. Matthew Stafford has thrown for at least 300 yards in 3 consecutive regular season games, but he sometimes struggles against the Cardinals. He threw 5 interceptions against Arizona last year. Chargers at Carolina at 10 a.m. The Chargers have not started a season 2-0 since 2012. And by the way, this is the first game of a 2-game roadie for the Bolts. The Sparks are at Seattle at 3. The Sparks have just 7 wins this season. You know, the only times that WNBA teams have won fewer games in a season than the Sparks this year, the NBA schedule was just 34 games. The Sparks would have to win out. They would have to win their final 3 to not have the worst record ever in a 40-game WNBA season. So let's get to the news. The Dodgers believed so much in Tyler Glasnow, despite his injury history, that they sent multiple prospects to Tampa Bay, including a starting pitcher in Ryan Pepio, in order to get him. Then, to keep Glasnow, they signed him to a $136.5 million deal. The average salary, $27.3 million. And after spending that much capital on Glasnow, they entrusted his health to pitching coach Mark Pryor. Mark Pryor, the pitching coach who has overseen 12 starting pitchers go on the injured list this year. What do you think happened? You guessed it. As a result, Glasnow, and I admit he would need the velvet glove treatment to stay healthy in the first place, Glasnow's likely done for the year with a strained elbow. He was going to pitch in a simulated game on Friday. He stopped because he said he felt some discomfort. They did some more tests. They found the strain. Dave Roberts has described it as, quote, highly unlikely that Glasnow will pitch again this year. And I really despise repeating this stuff. I'm not kidding. I despise repeating it because I've talked about it for each of the last 3 days now. But I don't believe the Dodgers coaching staff or the front office is being held properly accountable for this. Recall how the Dodgers rotation looked in the playoffs last year. You had Clayton Kershaw, Lance Lynn, and Michael Grove. And they get swept by Arizona. So the Dodgers swore that this was it, that they've had enough, that they were going to make sure that this wouldn't happen again. And then they spend $1 billion in the offseason, over $1 billion. And considering that Shohei Ohtani wasn't supposed to pitch this year, you could say $500 million alone, $500 million spent on pitching. And they're still in the same place. This is why the Arizona Diamondbacks weren't particularly concerned how this season would go on. They were probably sitting there figuring, all we got to do is bide our time. The Dodgers' idiot coaches and idiot front office will push their pitchers so hard that all of their arms will just go up in smoke like a post-game fireworks show. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. The obsession the Dodgers front office and their coaches have with pitching as hard as you can has cost them 12 starting pitchers during the course of the season. 7 of them are out right now. 4 of those 7 are all out due to Tommy John surgery. Which is what happens, by the way, when you put too much strain on your elbow. The ligament that goes from the elbow to the pinky finger snaps. That's what happens at Tommy John surgery. They replace it. And all season long, I've been saying 2 things. 1, that the regular season is completely irrelevant because we know the Dodgers are going to qualify. But 2, for the Dodgers to advance in the playoffs, for the Dodgers to be a threat to win the World Series, they need healthy pitching. And that's exactly what went down. The Dodgers continue to throw not just greatness away, but dump trucks full of money right into a bonfire. Because for all the talk that we hear about Andrew Friedman and analytics and how much smarter they are than every other front office out there, they are too stupid to notice something that obviously isn't working. And I say that as a lifetime Dodger fan. Over $1 billion spent last offseason. And from all we can tell right now, it's not going to make an effing bit of difference because the Dodgers are hell-bent on breaking more elbows than a Jet Li movie. Meanwhile, with the Chargers, you might remember a scuffle during the Bolts season opening win against Las Vegas. The NFL has fined 5 players from the fracas. 4 of them were from the Raiders. The one from the Chargers, receiver Joshua Palmer, has to cut a check for about $11,000. And all things being equal, I think it's more than fair to have them pay fines. We love to see fight in our favorite teams, right? But I also know a lot of Raider fans. A lot of good people, I might add, who are Raider fans. Do we really want to give some of these people another reason to throw down? Do we really? See, normally Raider fans, they'll come at you and they'll say, look, guys, we're not all that violent. And I believe that. I really do. But we also have to be real. There's a percentage, I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a percentage of Raider fans out there who don't give a damn if they go to jail. Jail is not a deterrent for a number of Raider fans, particularly Raider fans who have one shot to see them play in California this year. They've been to the Twin Towers. It's a place to sleep and a free meal to some of these guys. This is somewhat of a surprise, but considering that the Rams roster has been in flux for weeks with injuries, it shouldn't be that surprising. The Rams have cut former starting safety Russ Yeast. The move was to make room for another defensive back, Cam Lampkin. Yeast played in 33 games since he was drafted in 2022, didn't have an interception. Lampkin, meanwhile, is an undrafted rookie. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example, if you're in a state of panic over what you saw from UCLA last night. What about the Galaxy? Do you, in fact, think they are back after that El Trafico win last night? If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Quian Corte El Queso production. Take care.